hair. I have to put it up. Yes, I still haven't really washed my hair, but it's about time that I do. Okay, so, oh my gosh, let me just mend this really quickly. So there's these energies that are trying to get in between process, progress, all that. One second, y'all. So they're trying to get in between the energy. They're trying to stop things. They're trying to stop information. They're trying to stop logistics. That's what it is. They're trying to stop logistics, logic, energy like that, like reason, logic, forward movement, forward thinking, everything like that. Like they have this weird. Okay, so there's this obsessive energy. Okay, so there's an obsessive energy, right? Remember the ensnarement that I was like, okay, I'm leaving to God. So God has handled whatever it is that is meant to be handled. We're moving on and moving forward with grace, opportunity, mercy, and so on and so forth. I can't explain the vibe, but basically it's like, here's an example, right? It's like someone, you're like asking a simple question. You ask the question and they'll even project it as if that you're not answering the question type shit. So somebody will ask a simple question being like, um, yeah, somebody is trying to ask, ugh, there's so much. Okay, I can't even give an example. I can't even give an example because they're trying to throw all their pain, all the things that, yeah, there it is. Ghostwriter persona speaks through others' voices to push their own agenda. They were you trying to use signal lantern persona sends covert messages only insiders understand, but they can't utilize that false ass weapon anymore. Through their whispers, they're trying to act like they are what you call it, they're attempting to incite, yeah, they're attempting to incite some sort of answer question thing, like 21 questions, right? They're trying to ask questions like, open sesame energy. They're trying to force, they're trying to force the collective to respond to them. They always want the collective to respond to them. They're trying to, Fuchsia, no. They're trying to force the collective to respond to them. Liar in reverse. They were caught. Stonewall persona refuses information or access to exhaust opponents. You see what I'm saying? They were attempting to lie in order to act as if that they had some sort of answer or the right question to ask, as if that would give them some sort of access, as if that was then their tool to use. They were trying to make that weapon happen. Let's find out who all these individuals are. Who are all these individuals, Holy Spirit? Who are all those people? Please expose the devil energy, please. So basically, it's someone who attempts to, like, they attempt to cause casualties to people with, people with divine coalescence, like people who are already, yeah, exactly. There's a devil. You see what I'm talking about? Thank you, Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father. They try to expose people. They see what I'm saying. They attempt to make it seem as if that they are the ones who are the providers of divine coalescence, attempting to force people to ask them questions all the time. So this is another thing where it's like they are attempting to make people codependent on them by projecting their own dark desire for codependency. They have this dark desire for codependency. It's like it's really crazy, and they keep projecting that dark desire so people would, so that individuals that they are assuming would be already trapped would somehow give in or give up or whatever it is. Yeah, they are so, yeah, they are, that's what it is. They act like some sort of source, right? It's like a astrologist energy. Yeah, it's like an astrologist energy. When it comes to these false astrology energies, yeah, puppet master persona, there they are, directly holding others accountable for one's own actions without being seen as responsible. The way that they act as if that they're not responsible for something is because the desire is dark. So because the desire is dark, they're trying to act like, well, that they only have light desires, as if that their desires are pure, as if that the divine has orchestrated, as if it is their destiny that their desires are. It's like a false emperor or a false empress, right? Is someone who falsified their meticulousness. It's like some people, okay, so it's like some people might have thought that they put somebody in power, right? Some individuals thought that they put somebody in power, right? So that then they could, put all their dark desires into one formulated agenda within that person, so that that person now would act as an instigator for the dark desires to now occur. Yeah, they're being thrown out the deregulated market, and the oversupplied market knows about this, right? Pressure for managing supply. Pressured management. So pressured management is occurring right now. Management's under pressure right now. This is because it's to temper excess, right? All in all, with wisdom, utilizing wisdom. So they want to make it seem, so they are attempting to devalue the presence and directive. It's all to make seem as if the journey doesn't matter, right? It's to all make seem as if that some sort of journey doesn't matter. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're attempting to devalue not only the acceptance, but also the experience behind the acceptance. That's what it is. They're attempting to do all of this, all to make seem as if that they supplied themselves with, yeah, all to confuse and distract individuals. Yeah, this is so that they were trying to take hold of resurrection. So where God is the one who's resurrecting, God is the one who resurrects. Like, God is the one who decides who's resurrected, who's not resurrected, how resurrection occurs, who's meant to be resurrected, who passes judgment, who's going to the lake of fire. Like, God is the one who makes all those decisions. God is the one. So that's what it is, decisiveness. They're attempting to plague the way of decisiveness. That's what it is, by projecting at possibilities and applications of those possibilities. I've quite had enough of that energy. I've quite had enough of it. I'm breaking through those chains right now. Yeah, I'm breaking through those chains right now, and I'm moving on and forward. I don't know where they thought that there was some sort of dark ass desire that they were projecting continuously, bro, continuously, right? I can't explain to you guys what kind of energy that really is, because it's so insidious, it's so repugnant, it's so repulsive. It's like, just because they walk around on the streets, on a specific area, that does not mean that now they have access to rape a child. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it works. Like, what the hell, right? Like, it's so there. I don't know how to explain this to you. There's the destiny, and it's moving faithfully towards the Most High God. Yeah, and they're very, very, very they're in some sort of condition. They want to get out of some sort of condition, but that's none of my business. They're not going towards anything other than demise, and they don't understand that. It's not my business. Like, yeah, animal abuser in reverse, they were caught attempting to abuse animals. You see what I was like, you should know. Yeah, because every time, right, Poison Chalice offers gifts that carry hidden costs and damages. They were caught attempting to make seem as if some sort of gift was theirs, attempting to make it seem as if that some sort of gift that they were giving came from the person that actually owns the gift. It's like trying to trade somebody else's thing. Like, there are laws to this. You don't go into a business. You don't go into a business and speak to the you know what I mean? You don't go into, let's say, let me what you call it, explain it this way. You don't go to, fuck it, Whataburger just emailed me. You don't go to Whataburger and talk to the Whataburger owner, right? And then be like, what'd you call it? Oh, and then try to say like, oh, I'm giving you this. Yeah, it's a false check. It's a fake check kind of energy, false check energy. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's like like not real. You know what I mean? It's a false fraud. It's fraud. Some sort of fraudulent check or fraudulent attempt or fraudulent gift, right? Reveals truth selectively. Yeah, they wanted to make it seem like they had, like, look, racking for, they really wanted to make it seem like they had some sort of, it's more than that. Not only did they try to make it seem like they had access, but it's that they wanted to make it seem like other people had been recognizing their fraudulent access. Like, yeah, they wanted, they were projecting a dark desire to accept fraudulent gifts. They wanted to accept gifts that were fraudulent, and then what do you call it? What is it called again? Cash it out. You know when something is cashed out. Yeah, you know when something is cashed out. Hold on. That's so funny. Redeemed. Yeah. They wanted to provide, yeah, there it is. They wanted to make it seem like they could redeem, like they could redeem some sort of fraudulent something. Yeah. They wanted to make it seem like they could redeem something or act as if that they were redeemable in some sort of way, fraudulently redeemable, as if that they could be redeemed through fraud, something like that, right? Shroud persona in reverse. Yeah. Latch persona in reverse. Yeah. Bribe taker, there it is in reverse. So something can't be redeemed fraudulently. It has to be authenticized, right? It has to be authentic. And there are energies and individuals who are attempting to falsify redemption and redeemability. It's like they're trying to act like and say, oh, who could be redeemed, who isn't. They're trying to act like they control all that paradigm of redeemability, because a redeemability has to do with the potential of redeeming, right? It has to do with what's being redeemed, where it's being redeemed, and how it's being redeemed. And this also doesn't always have to be like, it doesn't always have to be like cash, checks, assets. It can also be what you call it, a human soul, right? Like it can literally be like that. So for example, someone is trying to act like they're some sort of devil, right? As if that they were able to get somebody's soul, and that it's supposed to be redeemed, right? As per, you know what I mean? That's another thing. Like, it's really crazy. The contracting market is still here, right? So the challenge is pressure for conserving resources amid declining demand. So maybe this is the declining demand as well. It's like there's a decline of demand when it comes to redeemability. It's like people don't want to anymore have to, yeah, they don't want to have to beg for redemption, right? We don't want to beg for redemption. We would like to keep moving on with our lives. Like, we don't want to commit sin and then beg for redemption all the time, just only to try and justify some other evil. Like, we don't, I don't want to have, let me speak from a personal perspective. I don't want to have to like beg God to forgive me because some evil minded person decided to now put me in a situation where I had to now use my power to survive. And you know what I mean? Like, what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? Now I'm being put in a position, the same position that they were supposed to be in, and paying off karma that isn't mine, like genuinely, also that I can make sure that my stability is stable. Like, that doesn't, which is here, right here, the merit is stability. Like, that's not fair. And that's the thing about it, is that they don't care about fairness. They are attempting to control redeemability, and that's it. So now it's being seen here, cloak holder persona, right? Keeps others covered or hidden for leverage. They're attempting to make it seem like they have some sort of advance, right? Whether it's wisdom, knowledge, or like I said earlier, it could be like an astrologer, right? It's like somebody who believes that they have some sort of destiny or something where that they will always be redeemed, or that they could redeem other people's gifts or something like that, right? Where that's not how it works. That's not even real. That's not even real. Yeah, sodomite in reverse. So sodomite is actively corrodes the vessel with false intimacy and competes sexually with opposite gender. So in specificities, right? Specificities, it's like someone like that's like a jealous man that's jealous of a woman in her job position, or like a jealous woman that's jealous of a man in his job position, right? So they're trying to compete in a way, so it doesn't have to be like, people always try to complicate and make something seem out of a place of vengeance. It's their dark desire. They want somebody to be punished in a certain way based off of what they believe. And so then they try to make the meanings of certain sin lost, as if it's lost in the light. That doesn't make any sense, right? If you really want to find out about it, it's Leviticus 18:22, Romans 1:26 through 27, Surah 7:80 through 81, and 10 evil acts, third body evil. So yesterday I talked about the third body evil, and that's them. They're caught, like they're in cage now. Now they're being thrown out and thrown down. And now that they're being thrown out and thrown down, trust, they always want to grab people from up, like from up. I was talking about it yesterday, where it's like they're pissing upwards and don't realize that they're pissing on themselves. Like, they don't want to accept the fact that it's not rain. Like, they don't want to accept that. But what'd you call it? That's another thing. So state controlled market in reverse with the what'd you call it? Informal market in reverse. So alignment and trust was necessary in a situation where there was pressured coordination, so coordination under pressure, and pressured exchange, where exchange was under pressure. So not only was there a necessity for things to be coordinated, or sorry, coordinated, but there also be, it's like a coordinated exchange. All of that was being under pressure. So this is like banking systems, right? They were under pressure. So let's say in a state controlled market, right? That would be a bank, right? And an informal market would be like an like a loan, right, from a bank, right? That's a example of a, what you call it, informal market. So honoring agreements and following governance is really important. If they don't honor agreements, then it's not an informal market, nor is it formal. It is going to be an illegal system, which would put them in a compromising position, which would break loyalty, and then they would be put in jail for fraud. So for example, I was talking about fraudulent checks, right? So if a bank, right, accepts a fraudulent check, the bank gets in trouble, right? Not only does the person get in trouble, but the bank gets in trouble too. So the bank, like the state controlled market, is throwing them out because they were caught, right? So state controlled markets could also be, it could be anything. Like it could be anything. Like, yeah. But then there's, if you really want to do, you can look it up as well. So pressure for centralized control of resources and production. So, sorry, this was the other one. I already said that. So trust, honoring agreements, and loyalty. Where is it? Alignment and stability. Oh my gosh. So stability is here twice, where it's like following governance is super important. It means that there are laws and legislations that are in place in order to keep stability in alignment, right? So if there are energies that don't want to be in alignment, right, they don't want to accept that there is a specific alignment of things. There has to be a way that things are done correctly so that things go like jurisdiction. But they're attempting to impede on jurisdiction as to assume power over, what did I even say earlier? Yeah, it's been given to God. There it is. That ability, something ability. Yeah, there it is. Something ability. Yeah, redeemability. There it is. See, now you guys will understand how they've been doing this, right? Which in reverse they were caught. They were doing this by throwing profane slander. Profane slander. They were always throwing profane slander with the agenda of attempting to veil energy. So keeps personal motives obscured behind constant distraction. You see what I mean? So the constant distraction is profane slander. So stews in disgratification, in distraction, mocks innocence in vain. So every time they're utilizing profanity, and then they're throwing that profanity through slander, accuses everyone of same self-guilt, their own self-guilt, right? Their dark desire, so that they feel as if that gives them leeway to project self-hysteria at anyone. So it's like whatever it is that their dark desire is, right? Maybe they want to be a thief, so they project as if that everybody else is a thief. You fucking lying thief, like that. But it's their dark desire. That's theirs, right? But they are trying to throw that on people so that people don't know, you know what I mean, what was going on. So that it's like redeemability is unseen or something, right? When the reality is that redeemability is right there, right? They're attempting. So like, for example, let's say exactly, it's like they're attempting to cloak redeemability in darkness. They're trying to shroud it in darkness. Cloak holder, veil persona, right? What else was there? Shroud. There it is. Shroud persona. That's all so that they can make it seem as if something is shrouded with obvious blind spot. They've been sighted. They've been sighted. They feel blindsided. And that's what it is. They feel blindsided, but they refuse to accept empathy in a situation. So they are blindsided about something. They're blindsided about something. And instead of figuring out what they're blindsided about, it's not my business. It's not our business. And they keep on trying to not find out for themselves. They don't want to find out for themselves. Leviticus 19:12, Ephesians 4:29, Surah 49:11, Manusmriti 2:11, 10 evil acts for speech. Leviticus 19:16, 1 Timothy 5:13, Surah 49:12, Manusmriti 8:270, 10 evil acts for speech. See, for speech. So they've been using third body evil, moving that towards three of mind. So they're trying to use other people's mind to speak their slander. I feel like it has something to do with memory. They're attempting to cause negative memories. And through those negative memories, attempt to cloak their involvement. It's so weird. They're attempting to cloak their involvement in negative memories. Yeah, debouché. There they are. And I can't make it up. See, thief. You see what I'm talking about now? And there it is. Echo persona in reverse. They were caught. See what I mean? Repeats others' ideas as if they originated them in reverse. Yeah. And there it is. Second body evil. It's moving closer. They're being found closer and closer. See? Exodus 20:15, Ephesians 4:28, Surah 5:38, Manusmriti 8:332, 10 evil acts, second body evil. So they might have attempted to cover up some sort of thievery, right? Assumes guardianship over darkness. You see what I mean? Pretends life is too hard. They act like, what'd you call it? That they hadn't been involved in something so that they would slander. And yeah, like they're the type of person to do something to someone and then call them a liar for exposing it, so that then it seems as if the person who they've attempted to cause victimhood towards isn't being recognized within redemption. It's like they want to block the divine from seeing who they're supposed to redeem, who God, in fact, they're trying to block God from redeeming who he's choosing to redeem. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like they're trying to stop God from redeeming who it is that God is redeeming in the situation. Yeah. Yep. The contracting market is throwing them out now. Yeah. They're being thrown out, the contracting market. It's like 2 of Wands energy. What's that 2 of Wands energy? Yeah, there they are, man. It's like they keep on trying to get in the way of someone who's been sent to accept the redemption. They're attempting to get in the way of someone who's been sent to accept redemption. Someone is meant to accept some sort of redemption. Yeah. And they keep trying to stop it. It's so weird. Fragmented market, Unity Builds Bridges Corporation. Exactly. They want to act like we gotta build, as if we gotta build a bridge over them, as if that they're the river that flows. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, what would you call it? Pressure coordination again. And then pressured centralization, monopolistic. Yeah, they're trying to stop all of this bloodshedder. You see, by any means, induces rage and violence against life and death, murder spree of any of all. They're trying to act like they are the river of blood, and that they're not in the river of blood. You see what I mean? They're trying to act like they are the river of blood and not in the river of blood. Yeah. Deuteronomy 27:25, Matthew 23:35, Surah 16:33, Manusmriti 5:89, and there it is, first body evil. So they're being caught for murder, right? They're being caught for murder and attempting to use people to cover up murder. Silent knife persona. Yeah, they've been thrown out the expanding market, right? They've been banned from the expanding market. Signal interceptor persona. It takes messages meant for others to distort them. You see what I mean? They try to act as if that they thought that they had sufficiency to destroy evidence, so to make seem as if some messages had been distorted on their behalf, right? Cloak and dagger persona. You see what I'm saying? Mixes scarcity with open influence to keep people uncertain. Yeah, they were attempting to make it seem as if that they had influence over people's minds to cause uncertainty. Yeah, chain switcher persona replaces one dependency with another so that the control never ends. You see what I'm saying? They really wanted to make people dependent on their influence without the people seeing them as the murderer that they are. Yeah, crisis disrupted market in reverse. They're being banned from the crisis disrupted market. Snare maker, there it is. Snare maker persona creates dilemmas where every choice seems to benefit them. Example, yeah, they thought that they were gonna create a dilemma by taking lives or by forcing people to take other people's lives. Cloaked knife persona in reverse, but they can't do any of that shit. But they're being, yeah, they're selfish. There's that Hellgate, right? Projects expense projects expense to falsify dilution of interest, attempts to deflect intensity, abuses all servicehood. Yeah, it's like they want to make it seem like they have access to service. They want to make it seem like they have access to the sixth dimension. Like I said, they want to make it seem like they have access to people's minds. They're trying to force people to give them access to their mind. It's like to their consent, to their respect, to their values, to their beingness. They're trying to act like people are as if that they want to force people, they want to force some sort of enchantment. So they were projecting all of that at the collective. Their dark desire to be enchanted in some sort of way, right? Yeah. Holds dangerous secrets and hints at them to keep others compliant. Yeah. They are obsessed with attempting to make themselves enchanted. They want to enchant themselves. I don't know what that's about. Candle leech persona draws. Yeah, they can't do any of that anymore. They're being banned from the informal market and the state controlled market. The contracting market is all here again, and it's exposed. They've been exposed for the slander and everything that they were causing. Yeah, and they're this profaner and thief energy with the echo persona. Yeah, they've been thrown out of all those markets because it's like their whole point for doing all of that was to ensnare people, to distort them, and then hold them accountable to be compliant to that energy. They wanted authority without stewardship. They didn't want to accept the fact that they didn't want to accept facts. I don't know how to explain it. Like they took a life. They're delusional. They don't want to accept that they got delusional thoughts. They don't want to accept that that people, yeah, exactly, that they are not what flows underneath the bridge. The Three of Wands is there. They want to act like that there's a river of blood that you must cross over to reach the redemption. That's crazy. Yeah, they want to act like there's some sort of river of blood. Like they want to make it seem like life is too hard, right? And that you as if that collective has to take people's lives in order to like reach succession. And then they want to actually, it's like, oh, very Fox energy. They want to watch while people build bridges over labor. Yeah, oh my gosh. The river of repentance. They want to make it seem as if that they've cried a river of repentance. Yeah, they want to make it seem as if some tears are theirs. That's what it is. They want to make it seem as if that some sort of some sort of performance, a demonstration. They want to act as if some sort of demonstration is theirs to hold and have. They want to act like, yeah, but it's all mockery over those that they've killed. All to mock others that they've, to mock others that they've killed. It's some crazy shit, bruh. Yeah, rope holder keeps others tied to past mistakes or debt. Exactly. So they want to force people to be tied to their past mistakes and debts. That's what it is. They're trying to act like that's some sort of initiative that they have to be recognized. Oh my gosh, they want to abuse recognition so bad. They are obsessed with attempting to abuse recognition so that there's some sort of redeemability, so that they can make it seem as if, let me tell you, that's not how it works. When I'm saying so that they could do this and so that, I'm not saying that it's actually getting that way or going that way or doing anything like that. No, they're not doing that. None of that is happening for them. None of that is happening. All of it is failing. Slowly people are waking up and realizing and noticing and moving away from them and getting away, because that's the consequence. Yeah, and they want to act like that's what the consequence is for people who aren't in that energy. Exactly. They want to act like that's the consequence. They want to project their consequences on others so that other people have to deal with it instead of them. And that's not even how it works. That's not how it works. Let's say that they did project it at someone. They still have to deal with it, even if somebody else is still going through it because of them. Okay? It's not something where oh, just because somebody else is now having to go through that, they don't have to go through it. They still have to go through it. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's so complicated to understand. It's not that complicated. It's really not that complicated. Just because they're projecting their karma at other people doesn't mean the karma doesn't belong to them, and as if that they're not going to be able to go through that karma, they will go through that karma regardless. That's how it works. It's pissing me off. It's really pissing me off. Just because they don't want to coordinate doesn't mean that the divine isn't coordinating things to make sure that they go through the karma. Not that they don't go through the karma. They will go through the karma. Whether they like it or not, they will. And it's the thing is that, okay, I think it's because I'm saying they will. Let me make it very clear that God is going to make them go through the karma. God will make them go through the karma. And that's what it is. That's it. They can't pretend like they have any hold over what it is that they're going through anymore. They never did. God will make them go through their karma. That's the fact. And they don't want to accept it. That's it. Yeah. That's it right there. Period. Yep, that's it. There's all the complaints and distractions and slander. God will make them shut up. God will put them down. God will punish them. That's what it is that they wanted me to forget. God will punish them. Inshallah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, la ilaha illa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is what I was going to say. God will punish them. God will punish them. He will. Even if he doesn't like it. Because God will punish wrongdoers. That's what he said he will do. And that's what he will do. Period. God does not break any promises. God is the most loyal, most trusting. Amen. Yeah, there's the acceptance. There's the acceptance. They wanted to project their dark desire for victimhood over acceptance. It's over now. It's over now. It's a return to sender. God will make them a victim over the chosen. God will make sure that those enemies will be our footstool. That's what God said. God will make sure. God will make sure. I hope it's clear. They don't want to accept any of it. Look at this. They don't want to act accordingly. That's what it is. They don't want to act accordingly. God is acting in accordance to his law that he created. They will act accordingly. God will make them act accordingly. That's what it is. God will make them act accordingly. There it is. And that's why the cards are coming out all wishy-washy and stuff like that. God will make these cards act accordingly. I'm telling you, that's the gift. See, God will make these people act accordingly. God will make them act accordingly. And God will punish them. They're pissing me off. Yeah, they're pissing me off. They're trying to abuse divination, act like they as if that they are God, and as if that they can control divine orchestration. God will make them act in accordance. God will make them behave themselves. God will make those projections disappear. God will clear out the energy. God will make them disappear. Watch. Just watch. God will make them disappear. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. God will make them disappear. They keep on, oh my God. God will make these karmic cycles go exactly to whom they belong to. Because that is the divine orchestration that he created. Yeah, they don't want to, they're acting as if that it is up to them. That's what it is. It's giving me, they are attempting to act like a gatekeeper, acting like a troll, acting like a riddle, acting this, acting that. God will make them disappear. God will make them very scared. God will make them very scared and afraid. God will put fear into their souls. They think it's about heart, mind, body. No, God will make them, their spirit shake. That's what it's going to be. God will make their spirit shake. Period. Empress energy coming out now with the proposal and everything to the Lord. See? And that's the truth. You see what I mean? It's all coming out now. You see what I'm saying? Christ, christened, anointed. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. God will make them fall. God will drop them from grace. That's what it is. See? There it is. Their dark desire. There's their dark desire. Their dark desire for misery. They're desiring misery. They're desiring misery. Misery as complex. They're asking for it. They're asking to be miserable. And so God will make them miserable. Not because they asked, but that's exactly what they deserve. Like I said, God will make them act accordingly. Yeah. So they attempted to falsify, disguise. God will make them, I swear, God will strip them down. I don't mean to swear, but that's what it is. And that's the swearing, that's the profanity. Swear, 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 swear. God will make them fall, man. Let's just make it clear right now. What God is doing to them, what God will do to them is unfathomable to me and us. That's what it is. What God will do to them is unfathomable. Yeah, God will destroy them, disfigure them. God will make sure that they understand exactly what it is. Yeah, that's it. They're being buried. Yeah, they're being buried. That's it. It's over. So annoying. So irritating. Like, don't talk to me. Don't fucking open your mouth towards me. Don't do that shit. Pissing me off. They think they have some sort of right or authority. After everything they've done, after everything that they've been trying to do, after everything, it hasn't been clear. As if God didn't make it clear. It's not my business. They're not my business. The Lord is exalted from them, away from them. And they never will be. God will make sure that they'll never be free. The things God is going to do to them. Yeah, they're being dropped. They're being dropped. All that gossip and slander and whatever is being dropped. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Like I'm saying, like everything is just is going to reveal itself in due time. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.